I'd like to call to order the Board of Health meeting for July 18th. This is being by Zoom. The first thing on the agenda is citizen participation. Do I have anybody? Yeah, do I have anybody that's interested in citizen participation? But Bajaj, you want to go first?
Mr. Berman, Mr. Balaji raised his hand, and okay. Mr. Sony also have his hand.
Right, Mark, hello. Go ahead, Mark. Go ahead, Mark.
Okay. Thank you. Good evening, Dr. Sony. To the Board of Health, I have one question I want all the board members to answer if they can. Or they should answer. I asked a couple of boards already. What's the goal for the Board of Health for the town to look for in this group?
Mark, I didn't understand your question.
What's the goal? What is this board supposed to be seeing from this group? And what's the positive goals coming out of it?
I mean, I'll start off. I mean, we're a pretty active board, especially under Raj's guidance as our health director. We have vaccine clinics. Raj is going to talk tonight about some other issues in town. We have food inspections, sewer and septic inspections that Raj does quite a bit. Raj is also going to be talking tonight about mosquito spraying. I mean, it's pretty, anything public health related falls under the board and Raj. Raj, I don't know if you want to add anything there.
Yeah, that's the boilerplate issues things. Each member who gets to the board, they should have their own goals and why they are there, and they should be able to speak out to the public, to hear what their goals are as a member. Not just the issues of the town, but as themselves, what they got put forth.
Yeah, I can take a crack at that, Mark, too. So personally, I want to help the town. And given my background, I thought I would be probably a better fit with the Board of Health than any other board, and that is to enforce the rules and regulations related to human health and wellness in the town, as Ed just mentioned.
And those what I want to hear from the other members.
Yeah, I can, Mark. I can also add. I'll mirror what Ed and Jay said, but also just making sure that we're protecting, the public health. Like I said too, would like to see more done in the community, which we are trying to do, working with the community, not, like disease control and just promoting sanitary living conditions throughout.
Or anybody else?
Can I add something to that? So anyway, I'm Balaji. I think I rise as from the citizen point of view, but I'm also volunteering for the health board. So what I want to add is the health board concept is health issues are continuously an evolving issue. It is not something that the standard policy that works forever. So the board actually functions as a kind of a bridge between a continuously evolving policy as well as trying to provide a very good, a safe environment and a sanitary conditions to the community there. So that is the point of view, from the goal, as you asked, the goal is trying to bridge the evolving policies that is happening through the world are provided by the government and everything, as well as at the same time, the town may also come up with their own issues as well. So it is kind of trying to balance from both angles and provide a safe place. This is the ultimate goal of the if you are looking for a specific goal, the ultimate goal is something like that.
And Ron, Dave, either one of you two?
For myself, I'll say that with my background in science as a chemist and experience in a couple of industries, I figured that I was in a good position to help the town navigate some of the issues around chemical exposures in the environment, specifically things like Nyanza and PFAS. So that was one of the main reasons that I volunteered.
Ron, welcome back.
The original question, Mark, I wasn't here.
What's your goal? What's the goal for you as a member of the Board of Health that the town can see from you?
Yeah, just to help the town out. I wasn't supposed to be on the board this year, but there was there were some extenuating circumstances, and I told the board I wouldn't leave them hanging if they felt I could help. So that's all I've ever wanted to do. I've lived here for a long time, since 1996, and to me the goal is really for us to have Raj direct us to what needs to be taken care of, and then help him achieve his goals, because he runs the day-to-day operations and knows the laws and knows how to enforce those laws. So I've learned, a ton from him in the last couple of years, as well as Laura, because she's right under him, and that's really the best way to do it. So Raj is up to date on everything health related in the town. He does an unbelievable job. So if he says we need to address something, he brings it to our attention. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter whether it's bacteria in Ashland State Park, or a hoarding case, or anything else that's not going our way. And then it's our job to help him achieve his goal, because that's what he does for work. So I almost think it's a little bit backwards that you have people that are a little uneducated in the laws and then how they're specifically enforced, which is what he knows. So that's why I personally lean on Raj. When I was chair, I would make sure I asked him, hey, Raj, are you good with this exception? Or, are they doing things the right way? And he would, he'd say yeah or no. And mostly it was yes. So I take my cues from him. And I think that's what we all do.
Thank you.
Okay. Ed, you want to bring up your side of things?
Well, one of the things I think which is really important, which I've already done, first of all, as you know, I worked for the town for 8 years, but I love being on the forefront of being able to react to what's happening in our community. So we'll use COVID as an example, right? COVID hit, and the town manager knows I'm a nurse and knows I can get things done. And we created the first COVID office in all of Metro West, and we were the first town to be doing testing for our employees to make sure we could keep employees working. We were the first ones to get going with vaccines and joining a collaborative. Things like that is why it's so important.
And to the town hall members themselves, Rajit, Laura, you got anything you would say for goals and how things are going?
Mr. Dasoni, I can go whole day, with public health from A to Z. We'll have from every letter of the alphabet. There is something we do in public health. So it's vast. Anything related to the health of the citizens of Ashland that we're trying to address here. So goes a long list. That we are involved with everything that citizens' health is related to.
Okay, Laura, your turn, since you're one of the hardest working ones there.
Well, thank you for that. I've been here almost 9 years now, and it's always different. There's always something that I haven't encountered before. And I really enjoy working with the public, and it can be very rewarding, and it's very interesting, and I'm enjoying working with Raj and the rest of the board. So thanks for the question, though.
And people who know me, seeing me, I come into the town hall, visit whatever I can. This is what I've been hoping to get for answers from other boards. I asked the sustainability committee meeting people the same thing. They gave me some answers, and now this board has gave me great resultant answers of what the public should hear. So thank you, and that's all.
Thank you, Mark. So the next thing on the agenda, everybody, is the reorganization of the board. I'd like to do a vote to table that to our next meeting. Ron has not been able to get over to the town clerk's office yet to get sworn in, and I think it's really important to not reorganize the board until we have all the members at the meeting. So can I get a vote? Yeah.
Sorry, before you get into that, I think that Balaji had a citizen participation question.
Sorry.
Am I right?
I mean, it's not something like important or something. I don't know if it is a time to ask her. I just wanted to know if there is a place anywhere in the website, like what are the things like completely covered under the health board, like, because I saw that in the agenda there are multiple things coming out, but I just trying to get a picture like how big is the umbrella for the health board and what are the activities that we cover. It's nothing, but you could tell me later. So nothing.
Clearly, Mr. Balaji, I'll brief you. Maybe tomorrow we can have a conversation.
Sure,
And,
sure.
excuse
Thank
me,
you,
and
sir.
on the website, we also have all of our regulations are posted on the website, so that's always a good place to start.
All right. Anybody else before I keep going? All right. So can I get a motion to table the reorg of the board?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to table the reorganization of the Board of Health.
I will second it. All in favor?
Aye.
So we'll table that to the next meeting. So the next thing on the agenda, everybody, is the housing cases, Chestnut Place Apartments, Dolben Management Company. I'm going to have Raj give a quick update, and I believe there are people there. Are there people here from Dolben Management?
Yeah, we got Nick Schmaltz, Regional Property Manager, and Mark Hughes, the Maintenance Supervisor.
Great. Okay, Raj, do you want to do a summary of this so we can move on with this?
Yes, Mr. Chair, and we have a tenant, Mr. Rich, who's from 14 Joint Drive number 6, So, Mr. Chair, what's been happening, we have 2 active cases, at least 2 active cases that one started March 30th. That's on 13 Joint Drive number 4, and then one started May 16th, 14 Joint number 6, So my concerns was I was getting very little communication from the management, and I'm especially concerned with 14 Joint Drive number 6. When we got a call on this unit, this was May 15th, and the occupant mentioned that there is a severe roach activity, and a inspection was done. Same day, we did find roach activity in the unit, especially in the kitchen area. An order to correct letter was sent next day. Since then, I was in the unit yesterday. I still have activity. The problem is there is an immunocompromised child that lives on the property, and this has been conveyed to the management. I was out on June 21st to do a reinspection, and I've asked the manager, her name is PJ, to submit documents related to what was done and whatnot, and I have not heard since from her. I did another reinspection last week. That was on the June 21st. That we had activity. I had inspection yesterday just to make sure I still find activity. So this is almost, we're talking 3 months. And the occupants are living with roach activity. And when I went yesterday, the ceiling has fallen. There was an active leak in the kitchen, that the management was addressing it, but that's a separate issue. But I'm very concerned with the activity, there. There's another person who reached out to us from the same building, Unit 7, about the roach activity. And when I was in the office in June 21st, I happened to see one of the pest control report. To my understanding, multiple units in that building have activity. Right now, I want to ask the management of what they know, how much units are out of their 206 units are infested or have activity, and what they're doing about it, And then my second question is on the dumpster. This been going on for over 2 years. This dumpster is very poorly managed, and with my expertise and information, this roach activity is probably because of unsanitary conditions at the dumpster area that they didn't bother to address at all from past 2 years that I'm with the town. And if they want to start, and I'll come to the other issues, that I have at the unit, at the buildings.
Okay, so Jay, do you have a question before?
I do. So I'm just looking at some notes here, Raj. You said on June 21st, you requested a report that the treatment had been done, and I think you just said that you didn't get a report, but you also said that you asked for, or it was suggested that the pest control company would give you a call. Did you not get a call?
No, sir, no communication either from the pest control, or it was mentioned to me by the manager, PJ, that the pest control company will be in touch, but no response from either management or the pest control company past that,
Yeah, okay, thanks.
Thank you.
And I want to just ask a couple of questions too, because I think it'll be easier for Nico. Correct, Nico, is that?
It's actually Nick, but
Nick, okay. Because I figured that way you can kind of address everything. So from the letters that Raj sent you, it also looks like there's a problem in building 13. So it looks like building 13 and 14 are issues, not only infestation, but smoke detectors, other things that were addressed in the report. When I spoke with Raj when we were building this agenda, just so you know, I mean, I think the biggest concerns for us as a board and the town is the lack of communication back from the management company on what they're doing. And that's what's caused you to have to be at this meeting tonight, because two-way communication, right, is going to solve a lot of our issues, but there's no communication back to Raj. So the frustration level is kind of building, because he's getting calls from the residents, and what can he say? I'm sending them letters. He has nothing to go back with the residents with.
okay. So I'm going to start with the communication. Raj, going forward, I'm happy for you to copy me on anything that you send to this property so that I can make sure that it's being communicated back to you. I was unaware that, if PJ hadn't gotten back to you, I was unaware of that, or if you had asked for the pest company to get back with you, I was unaware of that too. So I can make sure that those things happen. I did talk to PJ before this call. She has a special needs child, so could not be on this call, but certainly we could arrange some other time that probably she could be available. But she mentioned that the pest company would be happy to get on a call like this, or a meeting, and discuss what they're doing for this property. There's definitely, we took over this property a year and a half, almost 2 years ago. Right?
10/21.
So, there's been a pest problem, and so we're doing our best to try to deal with it. We did recently, actually 2 times over the course of our term here, we've treated the whole property. We did it once. You remember when that was?
We did it in 22, the beginning of the year. We just did it 2 other times.
Recently,
yeah, we just did it twice.
Double treatment, basically. And then we're seeing some positive results from that for sure. But it does take time. If I were to address the dumpster is a constant issue here, just with what residents will throw in there versus, and on top of that, what we're getting a lot of illegal dumping. So we have companies come here every week to remove, whether it's a mattress or a couch or that type of thing. Our guys are at that dumpster every morning trying to clean it up based on what they find there. And so it's a constant issue. One of the things we're going to do is get a camera up there so we can try to, catch who's ever doing this stuff and either hold residents responsible, or if it's outside sources, hold them responsible, and try to diminish how much of this is going on. But we will continue to try to stay on top of the cleanliness of it. I will say, Raj, so some of the pictures that you sent of the dumpsters themselves, are those because the doors were open on the dumpsters? Was that part of that?
That is correct, so that don't need to be closed all time, because that's how we control rodents or anything going into the dumpster. But I mean, to my experience with Dolben, and if you're saying your guys go there every morning, I have never seen those doors closed, they're always wide open, and that's one of the reasons that we are here, or there's so much infestation earlier with the mice and now with the roaches. It's just the unsanitary conditions,
Well, can I say something on that? And Ed, you've been a police officer in this town for what, 8-10 years? Okay, we've had an issue with this long ago. And anytime that we've had an issue, we've taken care of it, we cleaned it up, and we've done what we need to. Back when Chrissy, one of the managers, was here, I had asked you if you could help us out with other residents from the surrounding neighborhoods and towns, if we get information on that to you, to send a letter to these people to tell them to stop illegally dumping. And I got told yes.
They can actually be
we've had
charged.
Police officers up here at night doing details. We've done, other than the cameras, and we're trying to look into that now.
Sure. How often is your waste management company picking up? Is it
every week?
Twice a week? Huh?
Every week.
No, is it just once a week?
Once a week, yes.
Is there a way, maybe for the time being, you could potentially up that to twice a week? Maybe that just might help.
The amount of weight that we are disposing here in trash is 25 tons a month, and that's not including the bulk area. And we have people constantly coming up here dumping furniture, and there's only so much that we can do. I mean,
Right.
Flowing at all though?
No.
Yeah, so it's not overflowing,
Right.
So it's not really a
Okay.
Compactor, they're getting that in time.
Yeah. So, just so you know, I'm no longer with the Ashland Police Department. I'm with another department now. But I'm going to highly recommend if you could reach out to the new chief, Kara Rossi, and see if she's willing. She could put an email out to the department for them to actually do some extra patrols and work with them to potentially charge people with the illegal dumping.
But when I brought that up in different cases here, I got told that this was private property, that it's a civil matter between the property and whoever's doing it. And, this is what I'm getting. I've been here for 8 years, and I've dealt with quite a bit here with the trash. Yeah. I've gone over there on Monday mornings when it was 5 feet high, all the way to where the recycling is.
I'm going to look up what I'll do. Nick, is I'll get your email from Raj.
Okay.
I'm going to go through the law, and I'll highlight where you guys can use some of Mass General law to help you out a little bit.
Okay, that'd be great.
Mr. Chairman, I just want to comment on this, Mr. Mark's comment, if you're okay with it. Right now, I'm not talking about illegal dumping. I'm just talking about unsanitary conditions at the dumpsters. They are basically two very different things, and the management need to take responsibility to address that. Illegal dumping is one side, uncleanliness is very different thing. So when I went there, and Mr. Mark was present on June 21st, then I had a meeting with PJ. I saw water stagnant, in stuff behind the dumpster. There's stuff under the dumpster doors are open, And when I went past Friday, the conditions were same. At that time, I copied Mr. Nick, thinking copying higher management will help, but nothing. I went there yesterday at 3 p.m., same conditions. These are my concerns, Stagnant water behind the dumpster in stuff from 2 months. We are right in middle of mosquito seasons. There can be West Nile cases here, triple E. I'm very concerned, and they need to take responsibility, not coming up with excuses, to address that, So I'm very
It's not
strongly
an excuse
opposed.
when we hire a company to come out.
Mr.
and pick
Mark,
up
you
our
have to let
stuff.
me speak, you cannot just, you'll get your time to speak. Let me speak, because this is not today's issue. This is the citation that I issued yesterday was the 4th or 5th citation I have given to the company, and this is going for 2 years. And today they took all the time to send me emails about all other, properties in Ashland. You have to solve your own problems. You should not be sending me pictures that, hey, this is happening at Ashland Commons. I just got emails from the management from all other properties in Ashland that this is happening at the 6th and other places too. It might be, but you have to solve your own problems. I am not looking for what's happening at other places. You have a very severe roach issues in your units, You should not be sending me property pictures from other properties in town that, hey, are you trying to compete with them on unsanitary conditions?
No.
Like, I'm so disappointed seeing those emails.
Can I respond to that though?
That this is happening at other places in the town as well.
Yeah, can I respond to that though? Because my staff has felt for a while that they're being targeted by you and that you have some sort of a vendetta or that they're being attacked by you. And so I wanted to look at, well, what are other properties in Ashland look like? And that's why we went and took those pictures. And that matters to us because if they're doing exactly the same thing, I want to make sure that they're being held responsible as well. That's the point.
They are, there's, you can ask for me, you can submit a public record request of where the cases are. Okay. Your property have the maximum cases I have right now, right? But my point is, don't look for excuses. I'm not looking for that. I am just looking that you provide sanitary conditions for the residents because I'm getting maximum calls from your units. That's all I'm trying to say here.
But you also see the pictures we sent after cleaning up today? So there's a lot of poison ivy around that place. So we had to schedule it. We scheduled. I knew we were having this meeting. Obviously, I want it cleaned up by then, and we did clean it up by then. You can recognize at least that we did that, right?
Till yesterday, 3 p.m., there was nothing done, Yeah,
but I sent you pictures at the same time tonight showing the current conditions.
No, I appreciate that, but this need to be addressed,
eat off that floor.
Sorry?
I said you could probably eat off the floor right now. Not that it should have to be that clean, but.
I mean, great, hopefully you keep it like that and bring this under control. My second question to you is, now a kid who's immunocompromised, do we deserve to be in a unit with roach infestation for 3 months? Do you have any answer for that?
No,
I do. When we put out notices for pest control to go in and we tell residents they cannot be in the unit for 3 hours. How is it our responsibility to make this kid leave when he's sick? That should be up to his father or himself or someone to take him out of the apartment for 3 hours. In the apartment that you're talking about, there is a lot of animals, exotic animals, fish tanks, and the roaches are attracted to moisture. There's tanks in that apartment almost on every wall. And we do spray, we spray it and we do tell them, and we even move the pest control date for him. We went from a Monday to a Friday for him. So we're accommodating everything that he needs.
And why there is still activity there after 3 months, that's my question. I saw activity there yesterday.
Yeah, part of the problem is that he's not preparing for these treatments.
He is prepared, his cabinets are empty, but he's got all that moisture in there with all those pets. And like, I've been told that when they spray, it's going to get worse before it gets better. And it is. I live here too. I have the same problem. And it does get worse before it gets better. We are doing what we say we're going to do. And, I mean, we're spending thousands of dollars here to try to take this under control.
So how many units out of 206 units are infested by now? Can you give me a number, or the public need to know as well?
I cannot give you that number. You want to know why? Because people do not call us and say they have a problem.
So
And, Ed, it said earlier that building 13 has issues. A lot of those people do not let us know that they have an issue with bugs. And just as well as I do, they travel on. We had an issue with 13 number 4. There was, really bad moisture in there all the time, and the roaches go for that. They like the dampness. They're going to live in that.
So as soon as we do know an issue, we always go and treat that apartment. And we've done, like we said, we've done a couple of property-wide treatments lately. Again, spend $15,000 property-wide doing 2 different treatments to try to solve the issue. So we're definitely working on it. There's no doubt about that. And any time anybody calls us about it, we try to help them.
Well, we put them on the list.
I guess I would say what I said before. I'm happy to bring the pest control company on a call like this, or to meet with you specifically, if that would help. I'm happy to facilitate that.
But sir, I just want to know how many treatments are done for this particular unit where we are talking about 14 Joint Drive number 6, because I got 2 of the treatments in May. I have nothing else after that. So was there anything done after the May 2 treatments?
Yellow pages. Well, we just did two treatments. We did, there were 3 weeks apart on every unit on this property. And I mean, I can tell you the date. The last time it was 6.
We can certainly put that together for you.
Yeah, we can get that
I mean,
together.
I
I
wish
have
that
them all
was-
right here.
I wish that was the case, but after June meeting on the 21st, I have no communication from PJ. That was told me that she'll be sending it, but I have nothing. So,
Okay.
and I have asked her, if you have problems getting in, accessing the unit, that need to be communicated to us, but I have none from you guys, till that it came on the board matter. So, and can you brief me what's going on with the 13 Joint Drive number 4 that started on May 30th? I have no information on that unit as well.
All right, on that unit, just as well as I do, it was all mold. Am I right? The
Mr.
bathroom
Mark,
was all.
please tell me what's the status of the unit. This is 4
Well,
months,
this is what
we're
I'm talking to you
talking.
about. In that unit, it was all mold in there. Right? So we had to wait till the resident get out. We cannot go in there. I'm not going to risk my guys going in there and getting lung infections from the mold that was in there.
But are you totally okay with the resident living in that unit? I mean, you are not okay with your guys getting lung infection going into the unit to do treatment, but you're totally okay for an occupant living there for 4 months after we are cited?
Yeah.
Are you totally okay with that, sir?
No, but I also want to understand, when you go in and meet with these residents, you do understand that there's 2 sides to every story, and there's responsibility on our side and the responsibility on their side. Do you understand that sometimes it's their fault just as much as it's our fault?
No, they were cited as well, sir. And my question
Were
was
they?
to
Okay.
Mr. Mark's point that if you are so worried about going into a unit to do a treatment, are you guys okay with somebody living there for 4 months and not do nothing? That's my question. Can you please answer that?
We did offer them another apartment. We did offer to put them in a hotel. They did not want to go because of where they work. And we called you to let you know that there was an issue in there. We called you to let you know that what the situation was. And we tried to get them out, but we couldn't do it until Monday, I think was their last day. Yesterday was their last day here. And, you know, we've tried to get them out. I'm not going to risk myself or any of the guys that work for me to go in that apartment with the conditions that should have been dealt with when it was first looked at.
It's our opinion that place should have been condemned when we first looked at that place. Nobody
And
should have been.
what kind of expertise are we talking about that, sir? Like that you felt that it need to be condemned? Like what kind of expertise you're talking that made you felt that it need to be condemned, you know?
I'm not a health inspector, but I've been in the business for 35 years.
I mean, if you think that this need to be condemned, that doesn't work that way, you know, it comes.
No, I know it's not my
lot of stuff,
decision.
you know, and I know your team was not happy me condemning the unit. I'm a public officer. It takes a lot of responsibility to condemn the unit. I just don't go in and condemn a unit.
Sure.
That's not how it works, you know.
No, I understand.
So I'm going to chime in here because we can be back and forth all night long, right? But let's, Nick, let's come up with a plan right now. Let's come up with a plan and how the communication is going to be. Do you already have some ideas of what we're going to do? And then we can come up.
Yeah, so what I would say, the first thing I mentioned earlier, I'm happy to, Rashid, I'm happy to meet with you specifically at the property. We can talk about these things. But please copy me like you did last week on anything you're sending to this property. I want to be aware of it. I'll talk to PJ. If PJ hasn't been communicating with you, I'll let her know that she obviously has to. If there's something you need, she is to provide it to you. And then we'll go from there. I'm not sure what else to add to that, but we'll definitely step up the communication.
Nick, can we get a guarantee, a minimum of 2 emails a week for now to Raj, Tuesdays and Thursdays on updates for now?
Sure, I can do that. Yep. I mean, I guess it's specifically what you want to, picture of the dumpster or something?
I think even just, an email, 3 o'clock on, Tuesday. Hey, just so you know, we have no changes since last week. This is our plan for next week, whatever, just so that we know that there's that it's being addressed and someone's looking at it.
Sure, I'm okay with that.
And Mr. Chair, one more point, last point, I want to close this conversation. For this season, we have no swimming pool from the apartments, and I have communicated to the management. There was issues with the pool last year. They was trying to correct it, but I have communicated that we needed the application to keep the permit alive, right? And end of the season, the permit is going to lapse. Now, if the permit lapse, it's going to be a fresh pool treated as new pool, and it might not comply with the current requirements with the pool code. So I just want to let you know, Mr. Nick, we have not received any application for the pool, for the semi-public pool we have on the property for this year, And okay. I just want to, so that you know that if no application, the permit is going to lapse.
Okay.
That means next year we're going to treat it as a brand new pool.
Okay. We talked to our pool company today, and they were asking us about reimbursing them $640 for the pool permit. So they are under the impression that they submitted that. So we're trying to get from them a receipt of some kind, if that's the case, that they did that. I didn't realize if we weren't going to open the pool, I didn't realize we still needed to apply for the permit. Basically, what happened is the pool needs, as you said, significant repairs. We got a contract signed for that. And when the pool company went to the town for a permit, I'm not sure if you were involved in this or not, but they were told that they need a stamped engineering plan for that work to get done. So now we've been searching for that. It's taken us this long to find someone. We did get a proposal last week, which we're going to sign that contract to get that stamped engineering plan. And then once that we have that plan, the pool company will then go back to the town again to get a permit for the work that needs to get done, which most likely will get done in September after the pool season's over.
Sure. No, thank you. But yes, I was involved with the process and the building commissioner also,
okay.
in that process. But I just wanted to bring it to your attention, though. I mean, look, to me, the communication is not coming to you. So I just wanted to make sure that you're aware, right? I mean, we don't want no surprises next year that
Yeah.
this being not handled. I just want to be making sure that that, hey, we need the application, and we will make sure. I will check with Laura also tomorrow. This was my understanding so far, that we have nothing from that.
Okay.
But we'll make sure again that, hey, there is nothing from our side, and we'll communicate with you. Thank you.
Okay, that'd be great.
So Nick, before you go, I just want to open this up. If any of the board members have any questions or concerns they want you to know about. Anybody else want to? Ron? You're muted, Ron.
Okay. Hi, I'm sorry. Hey, Nick, just a quick comment. Is there any communication as far as the residents are concerned that if you see pests, this is a community-wide problem? It's not an individual problem just because you don't, if you see some insects in your place, to really report it, because that's going to benefit everybody. Are there signs posted anywhere, or is there any way to communicate with the residents that live there, that these things can be serious, and, you see a couple of bugs or, one mouse, it means there's probably a billion more, and it's not just your issue.
Right. Yeah, we do communicate with the residents. However, I'll make sure that, that we continue to do that and try to get them to report it. That is a problem that we run into a lot at this property, where residents aren't telling us right away when there's a problem. And I don't mean all of them. I mean, some are very vocal, obviously, but then others, don't choose to live with it, whatever. And that sort of obviously makes the problem much worse.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, it does. There are times when it's a language barrier as well, but, we try to work our way through that.
Yeah.
If I could follow up on that too, it sounds like maybe communication about the dumpster and waste disposal and how that impacts the property and the sanitary, both in and outside of the building. It sounds like that at least you should be communicating about that, and also the importance of letting if they see somebody from outside the facility that's dumping the trash on your property. And if that's a problem, it sounds to me like maybe you the camera idea that you mentioned before is certainly one way to address it, as well as making sure that your own residents are following the policies that you set for the property and trash disposal, as well as monitoring anybody from outside the property who is misusing it.
Right, that makes sense. And I think also we could probably use a little bit more signage on the dumpster that again is trying to get people to close the doors afterwards. We will have our staff check on that periodically throughout the day to make sure that the doors are getting shut. But we can also
absolutely
the residents to do that as well.
Yep. And you had mentioned it briefly before. I think maybe for the time being, it sounds like maybe a picture of the dumpster sent to Raj might be a good idea to just make sure, if your management people know that that's part of the process for now, then they might be a little bit extra diligent about keeping an eye on it.
Absolutely.
And then Nico, I just have one more thing too. I would ask if you could personally reach out to the family with the child that's immunocompromised, to see what else you could do to assist them in this matter.
Sure. I've actually met with Richard Lynch at one other occasion. We went to his unit, but I can certainly do that again.
Okay.
And then I myself went in and took care of any issues that he had.
Yeah.
Maintenance supervisor, I went in there, took care of everything that he needed done.
Right. But again, this is communication that never got back to the Board of Health.
Yeah. Okay. That's
Anybody
fair.
else? All right, so I think we have a tentative plan. Everyone in agreement? Raj, you good with the current plan?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Great. Thank you
Thank
for
you,
coming
Ed.
tonight. Thank you for
Thank
coming
you.
tonight.
Appreciate it.
Okay. All right, everyone. next thing on the agenda, we're not doing board member committee assignments right now. So Jay, you're up next for remote area medical update.
Sure. Thanks, Ed. So the funding, I'll start there, is going well. I think I read the minutes and it looked like last time we met, we were about $3,000 short, but we're pretty much there. We're only short about $200. So I think it's safe to say that we've got all of our funding. The number of volunteers, especially general volunteers, not the professional staff, is increasing. And so I think that we're in pretty good shape. We can still use more people. But for right now, what are we, 3.5 weeks out or so? I think that we're doing quite well. Ram feels that we're doing very well too. T-shirts are going to be ordered pretty soon, and Ed Hart is taking care of that. They will have the typical Ram logo on the front, and then all of the corporate sponsors on the back. They look pretty good, and Ed's done a great job. He is also handling the advertising on the buses from MWRTA, and that I think began yesterday and will run until August 12th. So that's going to be very good advertising for us, to patients primarily. Framingham State is all set with their accommodations for the Ram staff, and in fact we got some linens donated from the Metro West Medical Center, which is a huge help because not to get into the whole story, but the Ram staff will be living in dorms, and so we needed to provide them with linens. And so the medical center kindly donated linens for that. So that's good news. Just heard that today. In terms of follow-up care for the clinic, we do have the Latino health insurance program that is handling the lion's share of that, but the Metro West Free Medical Clinic said that they may be able to help us out. We're going to meet with them on Friday and see if they can do that. And Ed, I don't know if you are, I think that you were copied on that Zoom link for follow-up, but if not, I can talk to you about it later. We have 2 more meetings, official meetings with RAM before the clinic, and so I think we're in good shape. Raj, you said you're taking care of the food permits with the Framingham Board of Health. Let me know if you need anything from me to any info or whatever. Same with Steve Mitchell, because as you know, he's handling all the food service. And that's really it for the clinic. And of course, we have the vaccine clinic going on simultaneously. And Ed, if you've got anything to add, maybe you don't for that, feel free, but that's all I've got.
Yeah, no, just for the vaccine clinic, everyone, I've reached out to the superintendent and nurse leaders of Framingham Public Schools, Ashland, Milford, and Marlborough, and we're encouraging them to get their staff to volunteer, especially with interpreters. Again, anyone that's watching our meeting tonight, if you're willing to volunteer for either the vaccine clinic or the RAM clinic, we need licensed and unlicensed people, and you can just go to Remote Area Medical's website to sign up to volunteer.
Okay, thanks, Ed. And for regarding interpreters, I'm just looking at the numbers right now. So we're doing pretty well for the clinic for interpreters. So for example, Saturday we've got 7, and let me just do a quick look. Sorry. Okay, give me 1 second. So, and then interpreters for Sunday, we've got 6. So if it turns out that we don't need that many, Ed, I suppose we could ask some people to go over to the vaccine clinic.
I think you're going to need more.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, but we've also got the Milagros's system that I think could be helpful too. So I don't know. I did ask for 15. That's kind of what we were shooting for each day.
Dr. J, I just want to add on, from the state, we do have a language line, that we can do phone interpretation in case of any need. I have one set up in my phone. I can lend that, but I will check with them also that how many phones can be used, sometimes in our clinics, when we don't have an interpreter right in person, we use that, and it's very effective. It's almost like having an in-person interpreter, so works very well. So I will check with the state, like, how many lines can we use at one time, or if there is any limit. But that's a free service to the town from the state,
Oh, that would be great. Yeah, and I'm sorry, I do remember you mentioning that. So yeah, if there was a way to allow another phone to access that, and I don't know whose it would be, probably wouldn't be mine, because I don't think I'll be able to run around doing that kind of, but somebody's on the medical side, that would be good.
We can do it from any cell phone, but I guess probably from our office we might have one or two cell phones for you, just to use,
Oh,
for
okay.
that purpose, so.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
I'm gonna be personally there, and third cell phone can be my personal cell phone, so that we can use. But that's just an idea that we have resources like that, that we can use for help.
Okay. And can you just remind me to the plan for the food permit? That's not going to take that long, right?
No, so I did reach out to Mr. Steve, yesterday. I'll try calling him again tomorrow, but that'll be taken care. I did had a communication with the Framingham Health Department regarding that, right? Early on, but it shouldn't be a problem, that I will 100% handle that part of it. So.
Okay, great. And let me know if for paying for it and all that, if they invoice us, I'll get a check.
Absolutely, I'll ask for waiver on that fee, but we'll see. I will ask them. Given it's a community event, it's Framingham Health Department will be involved themselves, given they're part of the Metro West Share Services. So I'll ask them, but I mean that's decision rest with Framingham, but we'll try. If we don't have to pay for the permit, just given it's a Framingham is involved with this too.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, all set, Ed. You're
All
muted.
right, so the next thing on the agenda is the health director's report. Raj?
Thank you, Mr. Berman. So first on the childhood vaccine clinic, we've been doing a little slow, like a lot of kids are traveling, schools are off. But we should be picking up maybe, end of July, kind of August. Another good news on the vaccine clinic, right? Framingham is about to restart their clinic back, They have things in place. We're hopefully looking maybe in a week or so, or they'll be able to start the clinic, The plan to start it for 2 days in a week, that will definitely assist us as well as the Metro West area, for getting some load out, About the part-time public health nurse, we have few candidates, we should be starting the interview process. I did talk to one of the candidates. She had some questions up front, but if any board member want to be on, of one of the interviews, please let me know. And Mr. Berman, if you have time, given your expertise in nursing, or Barbara, if you have time, so let me know and we'll plan or schedule it accordingly. And other board members too, I just asked because both of them have nursing credentials, nursing side expertise. Both Hopkinton Upper and Main Beach are unposted now. That's good news, given weather. They was posted for almost a week, but they are unposted now. That means the residents or anybody can go swim and do any recreational activities they need to do at the beaches. Couple of restaurant updates. Madras Market on Pond Street. We had couple of not okay inspections at the restaurant, but that been sorted out now. That they are cleared. They have passed the inspection last week. Another thing at Mill Pond, we have some issues again, some activity infestation at the Mill Pond, and we are working with the management. I just wanted to bring this to the board's attention. If any further things at the Mill Pond, I will keep the board posted. I know, some of you might be aware there were some issues few years back at the location. So I just want to bring it back to board that we have some challenges there, but nothing major, but I'll bring it to board if needed. Housing case at 137 Pond Street. We at the town level, we are in touch with the AG's office regarding the situation there. From last month, there is no communication or any updates from the occupants. I guess the AG's office will be visiting town on August 9th, to give us a presentation of the current situation and how they can assist us with this case, so I'll be updating the board after the meeting. The mosquito control program, they have one more scheduled spraying on July 24th of this month. If any residents want to have their lawn sprayed, property sprayed, they can reach out to the Central Mosquito Control Program to do that. With the Arbovirus, given how we have the rainy season, there are definitely concerns, right? We might see some EEE West Nile virus activity. Hopefully not, but given how rainy it is, how wet it is, we already at the state level, we have 2 positive water samples so far for West Nile. That's a routine thing. They do sample water from different locations at different points. 2 samples are positive so far. I guess one was in city town of Brookline and one was in Worcester area. Waushakum Pond, again, the algal bloom, that is unposted now. It's open for recreational activities. Last thing was the Howe Street landfill. We have actually sent out request for vendors, to come service our Howe Street landfill. And we have not gotten any responses yet. I did try calling Mr. Jesse, who was the contact for the EnviroTrack company that we had from past few years, who was monitoring, and evaluating our landfill. We have not heard from anybody yet. Maybe if in another week I don't hear, I'm going to request DEP that they give us some more time, for the report for this quarter. But we are working on it. So I'm a little concerned that nobody have reached out. Any company have not reached out or responded back to our request for the Howe Street landfill. And I'm open for any questions now, please.
I've got one for you, Raj.
Sure.
So just going back to the posting of the beaches. So last Wednesday, and I forget what that date was, I went to Whitehall to kayak. And this is the boat landing on 135. Is that one of the areas for posting? It said Whitehall in the list, but I want to make sure it's the right one because I didn't see any posting, and I thought that I would have expected that.
Was that out of town, sir? Which town was it?
That was that's Hopkinton.
It should be posted, so but though this is with the recreation department, it's not with us, right? But the state posted. But with whatever times I have visited, if the property was posted, they will post it, right where the entrance is. Usually they put like no swimming signs and all that. I mean, it's just no contact with water kind of situation, right? Like the boating and all that happens still. But it's just if you are trying to swim or, have any water, I mean, that was restricted,
Yeah. And so I don't know what the date was last Wednesday, but I think before that, I saw that Whitehall, I was expecting to see it posted and it wasn't. I know it's not us that's posting, but just for what it's worth.
I will definitely keep an eye. The Waushakum Pond, right? That's under us, right? So anytime anything happens there, we post it. I mean, last time, couple of time back, our conservation agent helped, like, because she also looks into these matters, right? I mean, we do that at Waushakum Pond, but the beaches are under state, but I'll keep an eye, and have communicate with them, like, that, hey, this was the case.
Okay, thanks.
Absolutely.
Hey, Raj, so what is it? I'm sorry, I don't have the history to understand what the outside third-party contractors for 102 Howe Street are what it is that we're looking for. Could you go into that just a little bit briefly?
Sure. So, Mr. David, the state DEP, this is way before, I guess, long time back. They have asked us, given concentrations of methanes and other gases, that they want us to monitor, measure all that, and provide them reports. It's a mandatory requirement from DEP that we have at the town level, So last year, we have a company called EnviroTrack, that was doing this for us, right? But what has happened in June, end of June, when we have not heard or, we communicated with them, they said they won't be able to continue with the town, given the person in charge have left. There is a specific requirement that you need to have somebody with credentials LSP that need to be doing this, right? And with that company, there was nobody else, so we have gone out, I guess, 5 vendors, to asking for bids, for a 3-year contract to do that work for us, So far we have not heard anybody. I can provide you more details about what it pertains to, like what all we look from DEP, but that's all we are at currently. And the gentleman, Mr. Jesse, again, I mentioned, he went to a different company, and today also I made a phone call to him and left a voicemail that, hey, if can continue the work for the town from that company, we'll appreciate it. So right now we have to submit a report every 3 months, like a quarterly report, given concentration of the gases and all that stuff, right? This was, I guess last year it was monthly, and given the levels was low, we requested DEP to make it quarterly, and they accepted it, given it's a good amount of cost to the town. I guess the current contract stands at $16,000 a year. It was almost the double before that, so that money the town spent just to monitor, the landfill. Besides, I mean, there are other repairs and all that's there, So, but I more on that, given the details of what DEP asked for.
So
Great, thanks.
At what point would we be in violation? How long do we have to find a contractor?
So quarterly report means, like, we have to provide a report within, July, August, September, till end of September. But given, like no response, I'll still reach out to, our officer at DEP, just updating him, or asking resources, right? If they know anybody from the surrounding towns, or, they might be working with a lot of folks, on this, that if they can put us in touch with somebody who can do this for us, It do need some expertise work, like I mentioned, it's something called LSP, that they need to write reports and monitor it. And I'll find out more, but we do have time, but given, it's a process, if we have to bring a vendor on, it takes a little bit of time at the town level also to process, getting all their information, insurance, liability and stuff.
Right. Yeah, makes sense.
Thank you.
And in regards to the mosquito concerns, particularly with the weather being what it's been, and a couple of EEE cases in the state, as you mentioned, does the town have a strategy or a plan for communicating to the public the need to eliminate sources of standing water and those sorts of communicating those sorts of measures that could help? I mean, I know it's probably a pretty tall mountain to climb in that regard, but I haven't seen anything in the past, so I thought I'd ask.
Yes, sir. So just want to correct, one thing, that the cases for the water samples was West Nile, actually, not EEE. Just want to make sure,
Thanks.
Other thing, yes, we do send out stuff in our social media. I guess there was a post last month that we sent out about mosquito control. Occasionally the articles goes in our local newspaper and all that, right? We do have information on our website, and yes, again, outreach, we do, to the extent possible. Yes, we have a post, last month or so, around the time when this started. If that answers your question,
It does, yes, yeah. I guess maybe I was thinking if they could include something in the town manager's newsletter too, that might be a good idea, given again the really wet season. And
wonderful. No, we're gonna do that, And the other thing is, why we proactively take, calls, from resident concerned about, like some standing pools and all that, that not taken care, abandoned pools, over past 2 years, like we have addressed maybe 3-4 of those pools that, that was like abandoned, we do have one case currently that we are working on, to get that pool filled and all that. So like, again, coming back to Chestnut Hill Place, that they had some standing water in the back of their dumpster that I was concerned, so we try to address like, only thing is I want to add, right, like now these mosquitoes grow only in stagnant standing water. If the water is flowing, then they cannot complete their life cycle, but the standing water definitely concerns us, especially if it's in containers, tires and all that.
Right. No, absolutely.
Thank you.
Great. Thanks.
All right, so the next thing is the consent agenda. We just do a vote on that, unless anybody has any questions. So do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented?
Yes, I make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Do I have a
I'll
second?
second it.
Thanks, Barbara. Any discussion on the consent agenda? Okay, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, that's go through. So the next thing is discuss future agenda items. Looks like our next date, Raj, are we going to need an August 1st date, or can we push it out to August 15th? Yep, you're muted, Raj.
Mr. Berman, up to the board, usually they do one meeting, but we can aim for August 15, and I can let board know if there is need, in between. But
Sure.
Up to you to decide, I guess. What
All right.
I
So
learned that, sure.
So we'll plan a an August 15th meeting. And if anything comes up that we need a meeting, we'll schedule one for August 1st.
And I know last thing is coming. I want to thank Dr. Ron, to spare time again, I just want to say thank you, sir,
I didn't do anything, but thank you. I'm sorry I didn't realize I had to do that again, but it makes sense. So sorry to the board. I'm going to get sworn in tomorrow night and next meeting. So.
Thank you.
And I want to thank Mr. Balaji also to be present. As we discussed on that day, right, I sent the meeting invitation to both Mr. Balaji and Mr. Morais, and we'll keep continuing it. I mean, I thank you for your support with our work too, so.
Sure, it's my pleasure. It's my pleasure.
Appreciate it.
So I guess I will do the most. I will make a motion to adjourn. Oh, Jay just seconded it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Great. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for attending.
Okay.
Thanks for your support. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Good night.
Have a good night,